last two nights. What stood out the most in those two victories?
I thought we did a really good job of protecting the middle of the ice in the neutral zone. We slowed down any rushes, and I start to see, even before the Fargo games, that our guys were starting to play rather than thinking, of where we had to go, what system structure was in place. So it's taken a little more time than anticipated, but I like where we're at and where the build is.
You've won 3 of the last 4 games, and maybe not coincidentally, in all 3 of those wins, scored a shorthanded goal. What has come around with the PK recently that's led to offensive opportunities while shorthanded?
I think the pressure in our zone on loose pucks and fumbled pucks has been better, and then giving the green light for the guys to go once we have that possession. And it's just that takes time as well too. We've had a lot of different units throughout the year on the penalty kill, and I think we found 6 or 7 guys now who've been very effective.
Playing 3 games in 3 days is tough, no matter whether you've won the first 2 or lost the first 2. What's the biggest thing you're battling with fatigue heading into today?
I think there's no fatigue. I think, as you indicated, that there's going to be emotion here, but we just can't play emotional. But our guys are feeling good about what we're doing and what they've accomplished over the last 3 or 4 games, and just want to keep the momentum going.
Last night, the overtime victory, Finn de St. Hubert getting his first USHL goal. What did that mean for him? This is a guy who, he's been here from the beginning of the season here. What did that mean to see him get that tally?
Oh, it was great, and he's someone that we trust, and his game has really evolved. He's someone, it's his first year in the league as well, too, and we have, no 19 or 20-year-olds back on the point, a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and he's in a leadership position, and he's done a great job, and really happy for him to get his first goal last night in overtime.
Ron, thank you for the time. Best of luck here tonight against Lincoln.
Thanks, Joel.
That's Ron Fogarty, head coach of your Omaha Lancers. I'm Joe Norman. Both teams onto the ice. We'll have puck drop in just a moment. Stay tuned. It's the Lancers and the Lincoln Stars here in the I-80 rivalry matchup at Liberty First Credit Union Arena.
Please welcome to the ice, Mitch Slater, President of Omaha, and the presenting partner of tonight's game, along with his 11-year-old grandson, Emerson. Team captains, please join Mitch and Emerson at center ice for tonight's ceremonial punch-out.
At our ceremonial puck drop for Mental Health Awareness Night, and we are about ready to get this one off and rolling here tonight from Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Joel Norman with you here. It's I-80 rivalry night. The Lancers and the Stars getting set to duel here in Omaha. It's frigid conditions outside after not too awful yesterday, but yeah, plenty cold and plenty ever-changing weather here in Nebraska as we get you set for the best rivalry in the USHL, which is pretty much this season been one-sided in a way. The Lancers with just one win against the Lincoln Stars in their 5 matchups. There have been a lot of close games. There have been a couple of lopsided games. Let's see what we have in store here tonight between these two teams. Ready to go here tonight, the Lancers unable to control the opening puck drop as the Stars get it. They will go left to right to open up tonight's game. Nathaniel Poole toward Nick Young, sends it off the stick of Nate Pedersen into the Omaha zone. Lancers in their black and green specialty night jerseys for Mental Health Awareness Night as they take on the Stars for the 6th time this season. Reese Lance with the puck near side, net up against the wall, gets it ahead for Cam Karen. Now Tanner Morgan trying to gain the attacking zone, but Poole pokes it away from him. Karen will eventually lob it in toward goaltender William Prowse. He brushes it aside to the far wall. Here comes Nick Young, the captain of the Stars. He was out of the lineup last night. They've been dealing with a little bit of a sickness affecting several different players, but Young is back into the lineup tonight for Lincoln. Head to the bench for a change after getting the puck in deep. Stanislav Sedastra over to Ryder Reynolds, flung up ice for Cole Hiles. He gains the line near side. Hiles from the blue line slings it over far wall for Markonitis, who pokes it in a little bit deeper, but out of the reach of Reynolds. Lifted up on the near side. Emery Ibsen not able to clear the zone. Lefty Markonitis got it to the far corner. Vig behind the net for Hiles. Banks it off of the wall to the left point. Sedastra with a shot denied right in front and poked back to the neutral zone all the way back to the Omaha zone. That will be icing on the Stars. Lincoln entering tonight's game at 26-25, 4-1. That's good for 4th place in the Western Conference standings. Omaha is 14-36, 2-2, tied for last place with Waterloo. Blackhawks lost last night. The Lancers victorious. Omaha has won 3 of its last 4 games and has moved into a tie for Waterloo for that last place for the first time this season, trying to climb ahead of the Blackhawks with a victory here today. Only game in the USHL. Happy to have you tuning in with us, whether you're in Lincoln, Omaha, or anywhere else around the world here tonight. Perhaps plenty of other listeners around the USHL and viewers also tuned in, with this being the only game in the United States Hockey League today. Tie up on the faceoff. Igor Kim could not control it for Omaha. The Stars have it. And they'll work it up toward the zone, but not quite out. Israelov feeds in front. Kim from a sharp angle is shut down by Prowse. He recovers and finds Israelov, or rather Primo. His shot is denied. Primo and Israelov going to work far side. Unable to clear the zone of the Stars. Kim winds up with a shot, blocked right in front, but rescued by Ibsen and flipped out of the zone. This will again be icing on Lincoln, which has not been able to change in these last 2 sequences. So the Lancers with an opportunity to pounce on them early here. The face-off coming up at the near circle side. Adam Israelov will go into the dot. He's back after a 1-game suspension from a penalty on Friday night. Here's Igor Kim controlling, feeds it around the boards, but out of the reach of Todd Kilpala. So Lincoln at last gets a change after a couple of icings less than a minute apart. Euro line on the ice for Omaha. Kim scored an empty net goal that was shorthanded on Friday. Prima scored the game-tying goal at 4-on-4 play last night. Comes into the line of goaltender Devin Shaker, his first appearance of the weekend. Nils Morin's got the start the last 2 games. Brady Sloper fires it wide of the net. Cade Kohansky from the left on, down low, right back to him. His shot denied from point-blank range. A big save from Shaker on his first shot face of the night. Prima Backhands it over toward Kilpala in the far corner. Pushed up the wall, off the stick of Kim, toward the blue line, and able to be kept onside by the Stars, Cooper Williams. Behind the Lincoln net, Graham up the wall for Aronson. He is met by the physicality of Sloper. Kohanski could not corral the puck. Lancers with it, far board side. Spencer met up along the wall by Griffin Brown. In to pick up the puck is Arneson. He can't go much further though. Samuel Marine stole it away, worked it over near side, missed a few sticks. Icing is washed out at the very last moment. Lancers control. Lance couldn't get it far enough out of the zone. Beneath the goal line, Corton swallowed up by Lance. Arneson comes over to assist defensively. Lance finds the loose puck, trying to poke it up the wall. He only saw the defender, Young. Rich shot from the top of the left circle for the Stars, denied by Shaker. That came off of the stick of KJ Sauer. Into the near corner, Marine to the right point, Poole shimmies, holds and shoots. Save made, but a big rebound at the far post. Sauer was there, but not able to get a stick on it for Lincoln. Now it's the Lancers' turn, skating right to left. Fed up ice behind to St. Hubert, off of the stick of Spencer. Stolen away and worked north. Here comes Lane Loomer. Drop pass to Pelletier. Now to Poole. Left dot. He curls to the wall. Nathaniel Poole pumps it in deep. Loomer receives behind the net. Sets it up left side. Pedersen's shot was blocked. Worked up toward Tanner Morgan. No space to work with. He ties up a stick as Ryder Reynolds advances into the zone, but could not get around Nick Young. Now behind the net, Young trying to go skate to stick. Is met by Cam Karen. To the corner, Morgan, Stanius, his wrist shot flutters up in the air, up toward the net. Poole got his stick on Stanius' shot, and Stanius, in addition to lobbing the puck up in the air toward the crossbar, lifted the stick of Poole all the way over toward the far face-off circle. But either way, Prowse was able to make the save and hang on. 15:56 to go in the first period, and a face-off coming up near side with Tanner Morgan set to take the draw. Scored a shorthanded goal last night at the 15-19 mark of the second period. First career shorthanded goal for him. The Lancers third in the last 4 games. Lincoln wins the D-zone draw. Pelletier out towards center ice. Reynolds kicks it down and flings back into the left of Prowse. Young uses the wall for Poole to the far side. Pelletier through the legs of the defense. Lincoln with numbers heading north. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Young delays. Drop pass to Pedersen. Quick shot denied by the glove of Devin Shaker. He holds on with 15:34 to go here in the first period. Well, both of these teams are playing their third game of the weekend here tonight, but in a couple of different ways. Lincoln played on Thursday night, the only game in the USHL, suffered a 5-1 loss at the hands of the Des Moines Buccaneers. The Stars fell last night also at home, this time to the Sioux Falls Stampede 4-1. For Omaha, a 3-1 victory at Tri-City on Friday, and then the dramatic overtime triumph last night, 3-2 also in Kearney. Then to St. Hubert with a game winner for his first USHL goal. Face-off near side, controlled by Lincoln, but Emery Ibsen has to retreat into the neutral zone. He'll regain the blue line and dump it in near side. Todd Kilpala behind the Omaha net, banks it out far wing. It's fed across ice, but out of the reach of Drake Graham. Ibsen hustles over to keep it onside. Centers for Rude. His shot is fought off and ricochets near corner. Ibsen trying to toss it in front. No sticks there for the Stars. At the left point, Drew Nelson across for Ibsen. Lines up a high shot. Shaker saw it the whole way, and he holds on to make a glove save. Shots are 5-3 in favor of the Stars. Face-off coming up in the near circle. Charlie Vig onto the ice for Omaha. Kate Kohanski will take the draw against him. Kohanski with 4 goals and 4 assists in 5 games against the Lancers this season. Lincoln winning 4 of the 5 matchups. Here's an opening though. Charlie Vig draws a penalty, trying to chop away the stick of Cooper Williams. He did, but missed the net on a shot attempt. And either way, the Lancers are going to head on to the power play in a moment. So the Stars heading to the penalty box here. Looks like there'll be immediate timeout here first before the Lancers head on to the power play. That's coming up in just a moment. Omaha to the man advantage after this in a scoreless game. to the power play. They get the first opportunity of this evening's contest on the man advantage. Omaha 0 for 1 on the power play last night, 0 for 1 on Friday. They get an excellent opportunity right here to try and do some damage. Puck fluttering toward the front of the Lincoln net is eventually able to be pushed down ice. Prowse sticked it away before it was eventually worked out. Lancers power play is the worst in the USHL, 11.8%. Lincoln's PK 10th out of 16 teams. Omaha has scored on 2 of 16 power plays versus Lincoln's at a 12.5% rate. As the Stars get another clear here. Just the third power play this weekend for Omaha right now. Game number 3 of the weekend as Hiles lost it. Here comes Pelletier, the leading goal scorer in the league. His backhander denied by Shaker. Trying to recover and feed it to the front of the net for Loomer, but it was blocked. And the Lancers get it back. Reese Lance met by Pelletier. He steals it away. Pelletier winds up with a shot in the high slot, but fans on it as Markinitis fights off Loomer, brings the puck into the neutral zone before it's poked over the line and then eventually whacked right down ice by Sloper. An aggressive PK for Lincoln. Cooper Williams in the box for hooking at the 5:10 mark of this first period. Nothing going for the Lancers so far. They re-enter the zone near side. Morgan backhands it over to the far corner. Nelson, the first one there for Lincoln. He's tied up. Lancers trying to force his steal. The 5-forward power play unit out. They cannot, and Sloper will again clear. Israelov chops it down at his own blue line. Re-enters on the right wing side. Adam Israelov to the far corner. Coming in front, trying to drop it off short side for Kim, but it was broken up. Prima at the point, back toward Kim, could not receive the pass. Morgan does behind the net. His stick all tangled up, so he kicks it over to Standius. To the point. Israelov, far side for Prima, back to Israelov, straight away. He delays, over to Prima, backhand to forehand, flings it at the net, save made. Prima back up top for Israelov. 8 seconds to go on the power play. His shot up high, handled by Prowse, and he holds on. 4 seconds left on the Omaha power play. 12:54 to go in the first period. Williams will be free from the box in just a moment. The Lancers on the power play coming to a close here in a moment. They'll keep the Euro line on the ice. Prima, Kim, and Israelov. Suneister and Reynolds will also be deployed though defensively. Ron Fogarty kind of loves to let the Euros do a lot of dancing on that power play unit with 5 forwards on the ice. And it's fun to see the way they all float from the goal line all the way up to the blue line around the ice and just use space to their advantage. Kim is kicked down to the dot. It'll be Israelov in against Kohansky, pretty experienced centerman. And Kohansky wins that draw. Comes toward Brown. Beneath the goal line far side, works it ahead for Kohansky. Williams is onto the ice, receives the pass from Kohansky and chips it in on the backhand. Behind Shaker, Ryder Reynolds, the first one to it. Suneister backhands it up to the left point, but not out. Brown shot way wide over toward the near wall and carried out of the zone by Artem Prima. Flicks it ahead for Israelov, tried to spin it back to Prima, but it hit a star skate. Trouble on the near side, entering for the Stars. Now they get across. Kohansky lifts the stick for separation, then backhands it behind the cage. It's received by Brownhausen, back toward Kohansky. Tumbling skater over on the far side. That was Williams, able to play the puck to himself and then leave it for Brownhausen. Fed up across ice to Poole. His shot goes just wide of the far post. Now Reynolds for Omaha takes over. Suneister chops it up the wall near end. Prima steers across ice for Kim. Reynolds joining the rush. Kim takes it up the middle. Left side for Israelov. Looking back in front for Kim. He could not slip it through. Lincoln takes over possession. Brownshausen over to the far side. Sloper, his pass at center ice, picked off by Israelov. Nearing the end of his shift, gets the pass off far wing as Cheslock steers it into the attacking zone. Arneson there on the forecheck, but his stick tangled up. Marine trying to work it north, could not, trying to reset. Arneson forcing a turnover, but a stick lift prevents him from cutting to the front of the net. Nathaniel Poole out towards center ice, past the Omaha blue line. It'll be touched up by Kilpel. I thought there would be icing, but it's washed out. It's dished across ice. Cheslock looking for it. Lost his footing for a moment. Nelson lobs it ahead. Kilpela, far corner, up the wall. Spencer trying to clear it out of the zone, set it off the start. Now works it ahead. Spencer pushing over the blue line, chops it around the base of the boards to the near corner. Tommy Spencer set up Brian Aronson for that eventual game-winning goal back on Friday with a beautiful assist from the far boards. Trying to get a steal here in the Lincoln defensive zone with 10:47 to go in a scoreless first period. Exciting start to this I-80 rival. Arneson and Spencer up against the wall. Karen jumps in to try to help them out. Spencer came free, lost his footing, but got the puck to Karen. Flipped around the boards and a foot race to the puck. Ibsen applies the body on the St. Hubert, but lost his stick. Arneson steps up far side, applying the body and forcing the steal of his own as he dumps it in. Browse plays it out to Ibsen, lost his footing, as does Karen. Puck meanders into the neutral zone, brought ahead though by Morgan. On the right wing side, he delays, tried to dish it into the slot for Stadius. Now received near side to St. Hubert, up to Karen. His shot blocked over to the far wall. Nelson leaned into by Morgan, joined up against the walls. It's pop free near side. Karen to the point, to St. Hubert. Back to Karen, left circle, holds, shoots. Big save by Prowse. He had to fight it off with the right shoulder. Lancers continue the zone rush. Morgan turns and shoots. It ricochets off a body, but Prowse able to make the save in front. To the near corner. It's worked up to the wall. The St. Hubert steers across. Lance, high slot for Morgan. Back toward Lance. He's got an opening. Shoots. Big save. Rebound in front. We get a whistle. It was a loose puck in the zone. The official called it off and thought it was a dead play. The Lancers might have been able to get a goal in the net front. The Stars maybe bailed out a little bit by the whistle there. 9:34 to go in the first. Lancers bring it in the last couple of minutes, but this game remains scoreless. We'll be back in a moment from the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Ready to get back underway here between the Lancers and the Stars. It's a scoreless game with 9:34 to go in the first period. Net front scramble off the shot from Reese Lance's shot a moment ago. Led to a loose puck in the crease. Official on the far side who whistled it dead. I believe it was Cameron Giancarlo. Maybe helping out Lincoln a little bit. That was a loose puck in the crease. Prowse was trying to secure it, but was not able to do so. Either way, we get back underway with a face-off near side. Charlie Vig's line onto the ice. He wins it to Hiles. Turns, shoots, but it's pushed aside by Prowse. Reynolds jumps way into the play. Takes a big hit against the wall from Pelletier, but gets the puck back. Reynolds up to the point. Stanislav Sadister to the point. A blast from Markinitis is gloved by Prowse. Lefty Markinitis scored against his former team back on December 27th, a game that the Lancers won in overtime, 4-3 against the Lincoln Stars. Lincoln has won the other 4 matchups though, 2-1 in OT here on November 1st, 5-1 at the Icebox November 14th, November 29th, 4-3 in a shootout, and most recently, January 24th, a 6-2 win. That was a 2-2 game going into the third. Lincoln scored 4 times in the final frame to win that game. Lancers win another draw. Hiles up toward the point. Markinitis' shot is partially blocked. Nick Young controls for Lincoln. He'll flip it the other way, way past everyone, and it will be icing. Lane Loomer gave a great effort there, but Stanislav Sadaster did a better job for Omaha to stave him off and force the icing call on the Stars. Already their third icing of the game with 9:04 to go in the first. Well on their way to potentially matching what Tri-City did yesterday. The Storm had as many shots on goal in the first period yesterday against Omaha as they did icings, 7 in the opening 20 minutes at the Viero Center. They did get the game's only goal of the first period, but eventually lost 3-2 to Omaha. Here's Markinitis up against the wall, dishes it in deep for Hiles, takes a hit from Pedersen. Vig fighting for the puck, comes up with it. He'll wrap it around the net far side. Quick shot from a sharp angle. Reynolds sends it wide. Delayed penalty coming up again on the Stars as Sedester lobs it to the net, but Prowse gloves through the traffic. Looks like it'll be a high-sticking penalty coming up against Nate Pedersen of the Lincoln Stars, and he'll go to the box with 8:45 to go in period number 1. Lancers will get their second power play of the period, and boy, if I'm Ronki Russo of the Lincoln Stars, their head coach in his fifth season, I'm thinking about rolling out Pelletier and Loomer as soon as possible as the forwards. He will not. They had just had a shift at 5-on-5, but those two had a really good shorthanded sequence earlier, shutting down the Lancer power play. Omaha to the man advantage. They'll start with a 5-forward power play unit. Tanner Morgan centering Igor Kim and Tommy Spencer to his left and right, respectively. Israelov at the left point, Prima on the right side. Omaha controls the draw, but Kim turns it over right to Casey Vandertop in the slot. He carries it north, shorthanded. Wrist shot, glove save by Shaker. Wants to steady the puck at the side of the net, but the play whistled dead. He kind of ran out of time. Well, we haven't called Devin Shaker's name a ton recently. William Prowse has been heavily tested the last few minutes for Lincoln, but Shaker, the Lancers netminder, in game number 33 of the season. 8-19-1 with a .405 goals against average and an .890 save percentage. Shaker celebrated his 21st birthday on this past Friday. Did not play in either game against Tri-City. Gets the start, though, here tonight. Second power play of the game for Omaha. We're going to start the scoring here. Morgan gains the line on the near wing. Edge of the circle. He'll bank it off of the end wall all the way up to the right point. Tommy Spencer, cross ice for Israelov, back up to the point. Prima, back to Israelov, to Kim. Cross ice, Prima, one touches to Israelov, to Prima. One-timer, pounded away, just past the far post. Comes toward Kim from a sharp angle, yet his own teammate Spencer on the shot. Tie up in the near corner, Sloper and Vandertop battling with Kim, Spencer, and Morgan. Morgan got it free for a moment. Vandertop swallows things up. Sloper pushes it away, but intercepted by Israelov. The right side, Prima trying to go across ice to Kim, but broken up, and Vandertop will clear for Lincoln. Lancers bring on their other power play unit. Hard to say which one's the top one. Omaha has had some more success in recent weeks on the power play, but still plenty of struggles. 12 power play goals over their last 24 games. Granted, 11 of their 20 power play goals scored this season have come on the road. A little trouble on the zone entry. It does matriculate beneath the goal line, but Nathaniel Poole with time will wind it up and lob down ice from his own end. 30 seconds to go on the Nate Pedersen high-sticking minor. Turnover behind the Lancer net. Pelletier tried to center for Loomer, but Reese Lance steals it away. Lance to the far side. Hiles could not receive the pass. Loomer will work it ahead. Pelletier trying to use some space near side. Could not dish it to himself. Takes a big hit from Lance near side as bodies collide up against the wall. Now Hiles sidesteps Pelletier, trying to get through Loomer, set it off his skate, and ricochets back to the Omaha zone. Pedersen is back from the box, and we return to 5-on-5 play. Lancers clear the zone. It's Hiles at center ice, wires it in, and it will be icing. Oh no, it's going to be too many men on the ice, but who's it on? Is it on Lincoln? They were in the midst of a line change near side. TJ Lyle just made the signal of 6 skaters on the ice, and that is going to be on the Stars. They were right in the midst of a line change while also thinking that the Lancers were guilty of icing, and they are going to have to send another man to the box. Cole Brownshausen will head to the sin bin with 6:34 to go. Lancers' power play has been extremely anemic to begin this game. They're going to get a third opportunity and hope that the third time is the charm. The 5-forward power play unit has done the bulk of the damage in terms of puck possession, and they will open up this 5-on-4 sequence. Lancers lead in shots on goal 10-6. They've won the shots on goal battle in each of the last 2 games. 32-19 Friday, 34-29 last night. They win the draw. Israelov tried to get it into the high slot to Kim, but it's broken up and Vandertop clears. Too many men on the ice on the Lincoln Stars. 6:20 to go in the first period. Here comes Israelov trying to speed it north. He'll backtrack to Prima. Artem Prima, the former Minot Minotauro. He's over the line. Edge of the circle, far boards. Stapled to the wall by Vandertop. Nelson helps out. Stanius pries the puck free, lobs it around the boards. Morgan hustles over to keep it onside. Beats it across ice. Prima to Israelov. Back to Prima. One-timer kicked away by Prowse. Rebound to Israelov. His shot is denied. He delays and gets it back over. Stanius with a one-time rip from the near side. But Prowse is there near post. He has been terrific here in the opening 20 minutes. William Prowse, who was on the All-USHL rookie first team last season as a goaltender, entering tonight's game, his second campaign in the USHL with an 8-7-2 record, 283 goals against average and a 912, oh, beg your pardon, 18-13, 2-1, 263 goals against average at 909 save percentage. Great campaign for Prowse, who is 9th in the USHL in goals against average. Faced the Lancers previously. January 24th, stopped 32 of 34 shots in those games. He did not play last night. Charles Menard got the start. Prowse's most recent game stopped 20 of 24 shots on Thursday against Des Moines. Lancers on the power play. Lefty Markinitis walks over to the far board side. Now cuts inside the circle. Markinitis, base of the circle, feeds it in front, and somehow it trickles through. Charlie Big, the power play goal as the Lancers get the scoring started tonight. Markinitis found him in front, and Omaha leads 1-0 with 5:32 to go in the first period. Big with a power play goal. His second time scoring against Lincoln this season, and his 8th goal overall. 1-0 Lancers. Great vision by Markinitis, walking the line from the near boards to the far side, cut toward the front of the net, and found Vig just in front of the crease. Not a lot of space to work with, but Vig's stick was on the ice, and he's able to guide it in on the redirection to put the Lancers up 1-0. Omaha scoring first for the 4th time in their last 5 games, and now the Stars guilty of icing. Nice to get a power play tally there for the Lancers. They're 9th on home ice this season after being 0 for 2 combined over the previous 2 days. Ron Fogarty's going to keep a goal scorer on the ice. Vig's line with Markinitis and Hiles out there in the O-zone. Vig against Kohanski. Both of them leading their 2 teams in faceoffs. Vig wins this draw to Graham. His shot hits off of the skate of Vig over toward the far wall and whacked down ice by Williams. Markinitis in his own zone. Kilpala up the wall for Vig. Retreats to his own zone. Flings it over near side for Graham. Tried to find Markinitis near wall, but Kohanski intercepts. Kohanski leaned into by Vig. Markinitis picks up the loose puck. They'll carry it behind the Omaha net. Over to the near side and looks north. Lefty Markinitis popped it in front of Todd Kilpala. They'll carry it over the line. Kilpala couldn't get around 2 defenders. Popped free by Williams. Aronson off of the bench and over to get the puck. Ryan Aronson up on the far wing. One arms it in toward Prowse, who will slow it down to the side of the net. Tangle up forced by Arneson. Aronson there as well. Arneson steals, brings it over near side. Up to the point. Sunaster, his shot punched away by Prowse. Arneson behind the net, just out of the reach of Aronson. Poole will get there first. Takes the hit from Aronson, but it's Aronson who goes down. Puck stays onside. We got a penalty coming up, though, on Aronson. He applied a hit on Cooper Williams as Williams was dumping the puck out of the zone. Hit came from behind, and Aronson will go to the box. The Lancers doing a great job the last few minutes. We mentioned they're scoring on their 3rd power play of the period, but you're giving Lincoln a great opportunity to even this game right back up. Shots are 13-6 in favor of Omaha. Lancers dominating possession before that penalty was committed. And now they're going to have to head to the box here for the first time tonight. Cross-checking on Ryan Aronson. Lancers to the penalty kill. 4:18 to go in the first period as they win the draw and clear it down the ice. Lincoln's power play 13th out of 16 teams in the USHL at 18.3%. Their power play against Omaha, an eye-popping 34.8%. Bloomer dumps it into the side of the net. Lance chips up the wall. The St. Hubert could not pop it free. KJ Sauer behind the cage, met by de Saint-Hubert, stolen away from him and lobbed up toward the blue line, but not out of the zone. Kohanski to Young. Nick Young over toward Alex Pelletier, back to Young. Straight away, he'll dish it far side. One touched to Loomer, now to the point. Young back to the left side. Kohanski looking for Loomer, connects just away from him with the wall, far side. Loomer steals it anyway, goes to Kohanski. Kohanski winds up a shot, save made, and the Lancers clear it down as it's popped with a stick of Young back off of the wall near side. Loomer gaining the zone. Pelletier joins the play on the far wall. The Saint-Hubert stick all sorts of tangled up. He's trying to play the puck, cannot. Pelletier from a sharp angle misses the net, and it goes down the ice back toward the Star zone. 48 seconds to go on Aronson's minor. Lincoln on the power play right now. Nick Young taking his time in front of the Stars net, carries it north. Drop pass toward Loomer. Work to his left to Pelletier, gains the line, just barely onside. Now Williams over to Young, one-timer fought off by Shaker, big save up high. Pelletier glued to the wall, Loomer forks it up to the point. Young to the left side, Williams, high shot, glove down by Shaker. He makes the save with 2:38 to go in the first period. 20 seconds remaining on the minor. Face-off to the right of Shaker. Charlie Vig out to take the draw against Pedersen. Shots are 13-8 in favor of Omaha. Most shots in a first period that they've had this season came February 22nd. 24 shots in the first against Waterloo. Rude up to the point. Nelson, one touches, far corner. Pedersen to the wall, now up top. Nelson looks left, now goes right. Big lined up to block it, now to Williams. His shot is blocked out of the box. Aronson receives the puck near side. Here comes Ryan Aronson. Drop pass for Hiles. Cross ice, the play comes behind Vig and is able to be carried out. Here come the Stars. Pedersen left side. Williams leaned into by Reynolds along the wall. Turnover forced beneath the goal line as Vig controls the puck. Charlie Vig up toward Aronson. Almost stolen away from him, but Vig controls. Vig over the line, right side for Reynolds. Back in front, just missed the stick of Vig, but Hiles almost batted it out of midair into the net. Prowse got a stick on it, and now Brady Cadorno comes north. Cadorno for Sauer, right wing. KJ Sauer, way up high, finds Brown, high shot denied. Big rebound in the slot, controlled by Sedaster, and pushed ahead for Prima. He skates the safety. Artem Prima turning on the Jets. Right wing side. Prima slips it through the crease, just wide of the near post. Lays a big hit near side on Sloper, who clears the zone. Lance will bank it right back in, and Prowse slows down behind the Lincoln net. Up the wall, far side. Prima keeps. Israelov, right circle, lines up a shot, but it's blocked away. Kim behind the goal line, met by Sloper. Dished in front for Israelov, but he is shut down as Prowse seals the pads with 61 seconds to go. I don't know how Kim got that pass through to Israelov at the side of the net. But it was a huge save right after that by Prowse. He has been phenomenal in this first period for Lincoln. 14 saves on 15 shots. A lot of high danger scoring opportunities for the Lancers. Boy, the way they've been playing these last couple days, they don't want this weekend to end. Shots are 15-8 in favor of Omaha. They lead 1-0 where it counts most. Face-off near side. Morgan to take it. Wins it forward. His shot again denied, this time by Prowse between the pads. Morgan just walked right around Nate Pedersen after winning that face-off. They'll do it again near side. Morgan trying it again, wins it, but has to retreat beneath the goal line. Drops it off short side for Karen behind the cage. Trades places with Stanius. Karen trying to rework his direction. Pokes the puck away from the defense, but loses control. Rescue to the point. Lance's shot just wide. Pinballing in front. Karen couldn't put it on net. Now Morgan trying to get it. A couple of skates tangled up there as it's worked up the wall to the right point and flung off the side of the cage by Lance. Broken stick on the ice. It belongs to Morgan. He goes to the bench. Arneson takes his spot. Lance winds up a shot. Redirected by Karen. Loose at the side of the cage. Stanley is searching for it, but Prowse is out of the crease far side and finds the puck. Karen just flung his stick out trying to get something, and it took a perfect bounce toward the Lincoln net. But again, Prowse was there to make a tremendous save. If you're the Lancers, you got to get one more here in these final seconds of the first, because you know Lincoln's a team who does a great job of locker room adjustments. If you can go it up 2-0 after the first, that is going to be huge. Tommy Spencer to take the face-off. To the left of William Prowse. Tie up in the circle. Stars able to come up with it. Batted around the boards near side. Jackson Root looking over his shoulder, but worked it ahead for Ibsen. Up ice and carried into the attacking zone with 12 seconds to go. Beneath the goal line, a tangle up forced by Kilpala. Cheslock into empty space near side. Skates it up to the blue line. Over toward Arneson. He gets a shot off. One last attempt, but it goes off the glove of Prowse. An 18-shot first period for the Lancers and a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. Charlie Vig with a power play goal at the 14:28 mark. Set up by lefty Markonitis and Cole Hiles to give the Lancers the edge early on. We'll take a break and return with our first intermission report right around the corner. This is the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. We're back at Liberty First Credit Union Arena, where the Omaha Lancers hold a 1-0 lead over the Lincoln Stars after 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal with 18-8 in favor of Omaha. Both teams had power play opportunities, but it was the Lancers who were able to break through on their third power play of the period after a too many men on the ice minor on the Stars at the 13:26 mark. A minute and 2 seconds later, the Lancers able to break through. Lefty Marketitis setting up Charlie Vig in front to give the Lancers a 1-0 lead. He did not play last night. Charles Menard got the start. Browns' his most recent game stopped 20 of 24 shots on Thursday against Des Moines. Lancers on the power play. Lefty Marketitis walks over to the far board side, now cuts inside the circle. Marketitis, base of the circle, feeds it in front, and somehow it trickles through! Charlie Vig, the power play goal! As the Lancers get the scoring started tonight. Marketitis found him in front, and Omaha leads 1-0 with 5:32 to go in the first period. As you heard, it was Vig from Marketitis. Hiles with a secondary assist, and a 1-0 lead for the Lancers after they struck on the power play. Penalties before the too many men on the ice minor. At the 11:15 mark, Nate Pedersen went for high sticking. Cooper Williams for hooking at the 5:10 mark. And the Lancers at the time unable to cash in on those first two power plays. They got a goal on the third power play. The Stars got a power play of their own not long after Omaha's goal. In fact, it was just over a minute after the power play goal by Vig at the 14:28 mark. At the 15:41 mark, Ryan Aronson went for cross-checking, and that put the Lancers down a skater, but they were able to kill it off, and they took the 1-0 lead into the locker room. We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll take a look at the USHL scoreboard right around the corner. This is the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Back again at Liberty First Credit Union Arena as we continue the first intermission report. The Lancers defeating the Tri-City Storm each of the previous 2 nights, trying to make it 3 wins in a row tonight as they're up 1-0 after 20 minutes. Last night's games, Youngstown defeated Dubuque 4-1, Fargo 6-1 winners at Team USA's U17s. Chicago Steel fell at home 3-2 against Muskegon. Sioux City topped Waterloo 4-2. Lincoln fell 4-1 at home against Sioux Falls. The U18s were on the road at Madison, and they suffered a 5-1 loss to the Capitals. Cedar Rapids defeated Green Bay 4-2. Only game going on tonight is our game. The Lancers up 1-0. Period number 2 is next after this on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Moments away from the start of period number 2 here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Joel Norman with you on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. It's 1-0 Lancers after Charlie Biggs' power play goal at the 14:28 mark of the first stanza. Lefty Markinitis and Cole Hiles with the apples on that tally. And now Omaha looks to try and extend the lead as it opens up this second period, attacking left to right. No carryover penalties. Lincoln was penalized 3 times in the first period. Omaha with 1 minor in that frame. Tanner Morgan's line starts. And this faceoff controlled by the Lancers as Karen pops it over toward the blue line and Young up with it. Young back from Poole with the puck. Over toward the near board side, steered in by Pelletier. Lance off of the stick of Pedersen, turned it over. It ricocheted right to Devin Shaker, but he covers up. Lancers outshot the Stars 18-8 in the first period. Face-off coming up now to the right of goaltender Devin Shaker. After tonight, these 2 teams will face each other 2 more times this season. 2 Sundays from now in this building on March the 29th. Then the last game of the regular season, April 4th, is down in Lincoln. And the last game of the season for the Lancers, the Stars will be in the playoffs. They don't know what seed they'll be. Right now sitting in 4th place in the Western Conference standings. Young could not clear it out of the zone. Now to the right side. Lance behind the cage. Morgan side of the net for Karen. His chance couldn't get through. Bloomer pokes it out, lost his footing. Stars wanted a penalty. We play on 5-on-5. Karen lobs the puck in toward Prowse. He will cover it up with Stanius giving chase. When leading after one period of play this season, the Lancers entering tonight's game with a record of 5-1-1-1. For Lincoln, when trailing after one period, they are 6-14-0-1. Granted, it's a small amount, just one goal, so a lot can still change when the tail of tonight's game far from being finished. Offensive zone draw for Omaha. They win it up toward the left point. Stanislav Sedaister to the far side. Markaditis with space, lets it rip, but Prowse fights it off. Markaditis, a 20-goal scorer last season with the Lincoln Stars. He's unable to keep the zone. It's chipped to the left of Sedaister. He's the first one at it. To the side on the far end. Rude up with the steal. His pass ricochets to Vandertop. Gloves it down for himself and flings around the board's far side. Trying to hold the zone. Markaditis applies the body on Nelson, upends him, and the puck barely able to be kept onside, or so it appeared. That puck looked like it was still on the blue line when Drew Nelson poked it ahead of it, but it is ruled offside on Lincoln. 18:45 to go in the second. 1-0 Omaha here tonight. Face off on the far side. Both teams have changed up their lines. The Euro line onto the ice for Omaha, with Igor Kim taking the draw. Talked about their success this weekend. Kim scoring on Friday, Artem Primo the tally yesterday. Israelov all over the ice in both games. Well, beg your pardon, I should say on Friday. He was suspended yesterday, but Omaha happy to have him back out there today. A tangle up on the far side. Kohanski comes up with it, trying to work the puck to the blue line. Ibsen spins and works it beneath the goal line. Trying to be set up at the side of the net, but could not be, and the Lancers will steal it away. Israelov walks up the middle, now the right wing side. Flung just wide the top right corner by Reynolds, and sped north by the Stars. Kim turns and tosses it right back in at William Prowse. He'll make the save as Drew Nelson winds it up and tries a home run pass ahead. The leadoff sides on Lincoln allows for Omaha to try to steal. However, they turn it right back over. On the right wing side, the pass ahead by Brownshausen, couldn't get through. Now good defensive play by Kohanski and a steal. Williams dancing in front, and he scores to tie it up. Cooper Williams with a terrific goal, dangling around Devin Shaker, and he scores on the backhand. Third goal of the season, beg your pardon, fifth goal of the season for Williams. Here in his 17th game of the campaign. Lancers stole the puck but could not fully get out past their own zone. And as a result, they give up the equalizer. Brand new hockey game. Lancers with it in their own zone. Reese Lance fumbles on the pass ahead, but did get it to the St. Hubert. Now Aronson looking to stretch it ahead. Instead, will dump it into the zone. Received by Griffin Brown. He was a -4 combined over the first two games of the weekend. Turnover here. Lance back to the corner, out of the reach of Spencer. Arneson to the point for Lance. Left side to St. Hubert. His shot handled by Prowse, and no rebound as Spencer and Brown push and shove in front. And Brown gets the mitts up in the chin of Spencer at the far post. Meanwhile, in the far circle, a little extra pushing and shoving. Sauer with the whack at Brady Arneson. Face off to the right of Prowse. Stars change their line, so Ron Fogarty counters as well. Omaha controls it. Up at the point. Walk down. Prima high shot denied by Prowse. Makes the glove save once again. 17-17 to go in the second period. Omaha playing tonight its first of 4 consecutive home games. The Lancers will host Team USA Hockey's National Team Development Program's U17 team next weekend for a pair of games. 7:05 on Friday, 6:05 on Saturday. And 2 Thursdays from now, Sioux Falls comes to town. Here's a steal by Stanius. Couldn't work it over to Karen. Karen comes to the wall. Spun in front. Stanius couldn't receive, but right behind him to St. Hubert with a shot. Fought off. Rebound whacked into the side of the net. Stanius couldn't poke it home. Lancers desperately trying to keep it in the zone. They're not able to do so as Brown banks it out. Pelletier couldn't receive cleanly at center ice. Up the other way comes to St. Hubert. Backhanded in front. Morgan couldn't get the redirect on net. Whacks it over to the far corner. Stanius is there, but the puck poked away from him. Here comes Griffin Brown up ice near side. Lobs it ahead over the blue line. Glove down by Lance. Pumps it ahead. Here comes Morgan. Stanius with him on the wing. Morgan holds, dishes it in front. Big save made, but a penalty coming up. Stanius went down onto his wallet. He was upended on his way to the cage. Tripped up. Browse made the left pad save on the shot of Stanius on the right wing side. But it will be a penalty on Nathaniel Poole. He pretty much had to commit a penalty there. It was a 2-on-0. Morgan dished it over to Stanius, who, as he was receiving the pass, was tripped up. And if you're Poole, you'll take that every single time if it means there won't be a goal scored. 4th infraction of the game on the Stars. And here we go, Lancers to the power play. Captain Fig to take the draw. Bit of a tie-up, eventually controlled and lifted up the wall, but not out. Lance keeps it in to Hiles. 3 goals in 5 games against Lincoln this season. Up to the point. Lance looking into the slot for Karen. It was intercepted and cleared down ice. Lincoln's penalty kill is 2 for 3 tonight against Omaha. Charlie Vig's goal, the lone blemish. Here comes Lance. He'll drop it off to Hiles. Across center ice, left wing side out of the reach of Marketitis, but shot right back to him. Marketitis walks the line near side, looking to the front of that. He still has it in the corner. Backhanded around the boards for Lance at the left point. Up the wall for Vig, and just barely pushed away from him. Good stick by Drew Nelson. 1:12 to go on the Lancer power play. Here comes Reese Lance, drops it off for Hiles at his own blue line. Hiles tried to flick it back to Lance, disrupted by Kohansky. A nice job there to pry it free for the Lancers with numbers regroup. Marketitis weaves over left wing side, lobs it in behind Browse. Israelov at the side of the net trying to play it up the wall, but it was stolen away and cleared. Shaker way out of the net as Lincoln changes up penalty killers. Stanius, drop pass for Israelov. Cross center red to the right wing side. Morgan over the line, chips it ahead for Israelov. To the corner, he'll work it far side. Stanius through his legs for Kim. Kim, left circle, wrist shot, save made by Browse. Rebound at the side of the cage, corralled by Stanius and worked to the point. 28 seconds left on the power play. Kim, one-timer flutters just wide of the far post. Young will backhand it to the blue line and just barely around Artem Prima out of the zone. Morgan with 15 seconds to go on the power play sends it back for Prima. See if the Lancers start to get some defensemen out there. That's exactly what they'll do. Reynolds is onto the ice as Morgan gains the line. Drop for Kim, cross ice Prima. Curls atop the right circle. Looks in front, gets the redirect, save made. Rebound is denied by Prowse. The puck ricochets off of Prowse and goes out of play. A late charge from the Lancers on that power play, but unable to retake the lead. It's 1-1 here, midway through the second period. We'll be back in a moment on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. 3-1 game between the Lancers and the Stars here with 14:22 to go in the second. Omaha with a late charge on their power play, trying to retake the lead, but not able to. William Krause has been tremendous. 29 shots already for the Lancers, trying to get to 30 here. Did it in each of the first 2 games of the weekend as Arneson with a nice play was trying to set it up in front for Cheslock, but could not. Back in his own zone, Ryder Reynolds. Omaha in black and green tonight, specialty jerseys. As the stretch pass intended for Spencer misses its target. And it's icing on Omaha. Lancers got the only goal of the first period. Lincoln has the only goal of the second. Charlie Big at the 14:28 mark of the first. And Cooper Williams, 2:08 into the second off the defensive zone turnover by the Lancers. And just a beautiful display of decent dangles from Williams. His 5th of the campaign. Lancers win it. Cheslock, hands on the breakout pass. Couldn't get around Kohanski and Pelletier. Forecheck from the Stars. Omaha pokes it out to center ice, but right to Young. Skies it up in the air to Reynolds, who gloves it down to himself and shakes off Pelletier. Cheslock banks it in all the way back toward Prowse, but picked up right in front of him by Young. Up to Poole, Pedersen, far side Kohanski trying to spring Pelletier. He's met by Reynolds, backhanded over toward Kohanski. His shot is denied, big rebound, whiffed on by Pedersen, high slot. Now Poole up top, over toward Pelletier. Cross ice intended for Young, but out of his reach. Beneath the goal line at spot 4. Stars with one of their longer extended offensive sequences so far. Pelletier, far side, up toward the point. To Young, delayed penalty coming up on Omaha. Prowse to the bench, wrist shot from Pelletier, misses the net. And Spencer hustles over to touch up. High stick will be called on Omaha. In the midst of a defensive zone struggle. Prowse had just gotten to the bench when Omaha touched up. It'll be Brady Arneson to the sin bin for the Lancers. Face-off coming up in the defensive zone here in a moment. Face-off controlled by the Stars. Arneson in the box for high sticking. It's Nelson over toward Williams, the goal scorer. Cross ice for Jackson Rood underneath. It'll be fed right in front through the legs of Corton. Up top, Williams with a blast. Pinballs off of the post near side. Vig collects and clears for Omaha. A redirection in front. Williams almost got the goal there. It would have been his second of the period. Deep breath for the Lancers and their fans here tonight. 12:38 left in the second, 1:30 on the Lincoln power play. It's bobbled on the near side. Good tie-up forced. Corton up with the puck. Works it to the point. Williams steers to his right. Nelson, right side. Rood, wrister denied by Shaker. Batted up the wall off the skate and flung to the point by Karen, but not out. A great keep by Drew Nelson. Trying to be stolen in front of the blue line. Out to the near side of the ice. A foot race. Kilpla got it around Williams. Again, not quite out of the zone. Pelletier onto the ice. Gave it over to Williams. Up top. A blast from Rood is denied by Shaker. Holds on to make the glove save with 59 seconds left on the penalty kill. So that'll fully bring out the first power play unit for the Stars. The second power play unit was buzzing during that last sequence. But now they bring out Pelletier, the leading goal scorer in the USHL, wearing 8 in white, 44 tallies, 237 shots, and 74 points, all 3 of those leading the USHL. He has not scored in the last 2 games. He had 5 goals in his previous 4 before Thursday night. Wins the draw up to Kohanski, a big block by Tommy Spencer, who is slow to get up and in a ton of pain. He can hardly put any weight on that left skate. He is hustling over the bench as best as he can, and is off. Hiles replaces him. Penalty kill continues. Bloomer onto the near side, broken up, but right back to Pelletier as Hiles defends him. Pelletier across ice, Young to Loomer, one-timer sails up high and is batted up into the air away from the net. As Lance controls and lifts it off of the glass up toward Young, a good keep, gloves it down, but right to Lance. He's got some more space this time and flex it out to Aronson. Aronson to Lance. Wrist shot. Save made by Prowse on the shorthanded chance. Hiles across ice for Aronson. Right circle. Holds and shoots. Fought off by Prowse as he denies it. The right shoulder. It was right by his mask. And he's shaking his head a little bit. Takes off. Takes his stick to the side and is readjusting his mask as play continues. Play expires. Arneson onto the ice. On the right wing side, Loomer banks it off of the end wall, near end. Hiles looking ahead. Gives it to Vig. He gains the line. To Markonitis. Back in front for Vig. Not a lot of space to work with, but he scores! Charlie Vig in the crease. Redirects it past Prowse. His second of the game makes it 2-1 Omaha. Vig with his second of the night, his second multi-goal game of the season. I don't know how he got a stick on that. Prowse made the initial save. I mentioned a moment ago, Prowse was shaken up after making a stop on a shot by Aronson, and all of a sudden, less than a minute later, as Vig right in his kitchen and scoring to give the Lancers the lead again. Prowse appears to be all set. Again, he spent a lot of the time after the play left his own zone readjusting his mask while play continued. Appears to be all set now. The Lancers have taken the lead. Vandertop on a centering attempt for Cadurna out of the near corner. Could not get there. Omaha brings it north. They've got the big line still on the ice. He's looking for the hat trick. Omaha hasn't had a hat trick this season. From the Stars. On over toward the near side and backhanded ahead. Cadurna in the near corner from Malkasian. Led behind the net. Vandertop takes a shove up against the wall. Lifted up to the blue line, but not quite out. Poole kept it onside, fed it to the front of the net, but broke it up by Sedester. Vig for behind his own cage for Kilpala. Todd Kilpala holds behind the Omaha net with 10 minutes to go in the second. Lefty Markonitis gives it over toward Kilpala, up the wall near side. Kim backhands it into the zone. Kilpala met by the defense of Sloper right behind the net. Williams picked up the puck, but Kim steals it. Kim to the front of the cage as Railov tangled up. Graham got the shot off. It sails over the crossbar. Kilpala down low for Railov. Tangled up against the near wall. Kohanski applies the hit as the puck is carried ahead by Williams. Dished across ice and out of the reach of Brownshausen. He is offsides anyway. And we get a whistle with 9:24 to go in the second. Lancers back in the lead. Charlie Vig with his second of the game, this time at even strength. It's 2-1 Omaha. Back underway here in Omaha. Joe Harmon with you on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Happy to have you tuning in, whether you're watching on FloHockey or perhaps on Facebook or Twitter. This is FloHockey's free game of the day. The only game of the USHL here tonight. The two did on Mixler as well. Omaha taking the lead in the second period. Cooper Williams scored earlier in the frame. Charlie Vig second of the night as it had 2-1 Lancers. Prima for Railov, batted off of the glass into the neutral zone before it's flexed back around Shaker. Kilpala flipped over far side. Kim lets it fly free up towards center ice, and Kim brings it ahead now. On the the left circle, tries to feed it around for Prima. It comes off of the right pad of Prowse. He was pinned to the far post and keeps the puck out. Reese Lance in his own zone over toward Finn de St. Hubert. Cross icing just out of the reach of Prima. This will be icing on Omaha. Sixth matchup of the season series between the Lancers and the Stars. Lincoln has won four of the first 9 matchups. Omaha's lone win over Lincoln was December 27th in this building. That was an exciting back and forth game. Lancers winning that one in the late stages by 4-3 score. Ohio scored twice. Right off of the draw, puck comes out of play behind the Lancer net. Ohio's this season 20 goals, the lone Lancer to get there. 91st player in Omaha Lancers history to net 20 or more goals in a single season. He's due for one tonight in a lot of ways. Ohio scored 4 goals last weekend over the 2 games against Fargo. For him, back-to-back games without a goal is a rarity. How regularly he's been putting the puck in net here this season. His line mate Charlie Vake with 2 tallies though so far to pace Omaha tonight. Rude has it behind the Lincoln end, over for Young, trying to be advanced up the wall. Reese Lance steps up but cannot hold the zone. Karen to de St. Hubert, up ice for Lance. The trouble at the blue line, he rolls it around Young, but there to back him up is Poole. Poole around the boards and just barely past de St. Hubert. This might be icing, a foot race to the puck, but it is washed out. De St. Hubert takes a big hit from Sauer. Williams leaned into by Karen, lost his stick. Lancers go north, skating left to right. Morgan flies it high in the air up the center ice, gloved down by Sloper, but turned right back over to Morgan. Slips around the defense and tries to go across ice, but does on a ricochet to Stanius. In the near corner, he's shoved against the wall. It's flexed up to the blue line, kept onside by Sinaster. His shot redirected, goes just wide of the near post. Stanius met by Poole on the near side. Morgan popped it free to the front of the net. Aronson trying to steer it in, could not. A right pad save from Prowse. 32 saves for him tonight on 34 shots. Now a chance for Lincoln. Kohanski dangles and flings it just wide of the far post. What an opportunity there. Now a blast from the right point, patted away by Shaker. Up to the blue line, Aronson out of position to receive that. Blasted right back in, off of the back of the unsuspecting Reynolds. They'll staple Kaderna to the wall as Vandertop collides in front with Shaker, and Morgan gives him a shove away from the net. Shaker coming out of the crease trying to play the puck. Big collision, looks like he's okay. Lost his stick temporarily, now gets it back. Stars are still in the attacking zone. Ibsen across ice, to the point, Vandertop brings it over to the far wall. Casey Vandertop, centers looking for Kohanski, but it goes right to Tommy Spencer. Back onto the ice after that awkward block shot earlier, looks like he's all right. Spencer gains the line, but goes no further. Kohanski leads the charge the other way. It's poked away, and Spencer regains possession, backtracks to Arneson. Arneson with a drop pass, now to Kilpala. Lines up a shot, but it goes wide of the net. Spencer through the legs of a defender, but right toward Vandertop. It's bounced ahead for Kohanski. They'll fly it in as Nelson pinches ahead and tangles up with Kilpala. Heading the goal line, Graham joins in as well. Pelletier trying to find the loose puck. He could not. Foot race to it near side. Markinitis picks it up and is into the neutral zone. Banked off of the wall, losing his footing. He'll go no further as it's tied up right in front of the Omaha bench and now possessed by the Stars. It's Pelletier dropping off to Loomer. Cross-ice pass broken up by Kilpala. Markinitis joins him to clear the zone. Couldn't get around Nick Young and up toward Hiles. Pelletier will bring it ahead. A 2-on-1 if he hurries. Over to Loomer. One-timer. He scores. Two of the best forwards in the USHL team up for the game-tying goal as Alex Pelletier sets up Lane Loomer to make it 2-2. These two have burned the Lancers all season long. In their 6th game now against them, they have combined to record 18 points in that time. Pelletier, 4 goals and 6 assists now against Omaha. Loomer, 4 goals and 4 assists. Loomer scored Lincoln's only goal last night, and he ties this one up 2-2 here in the second. 5.5 to go in the frame. Tie up in front of the Lincoln bench. brought north by Omaha. The big line on the ice. He's looking for the hat trick tonight, but more importantly, trying to give the Lancers the lead. Lance to the far side to St. Hubert's. Pass up ice is ricocheted into the attack again on a breakup. Isles steals, got it to Markinitis. Markinitis looked across ice for Vig, but it was picked off. Casey Vandertop rolls it in toward Devin Shaker, and he'll cover it up. Cole Brownshausen gave Devin Shaker a little bit of a snow shower. The Lancers take exception to that. Brownshausen will be guided away by the officials. Isles with an extra word for him. 5 minutes to go in the second, a 2-2 game. Brownshausen playing in his second USHL game here tonight. Boomer for Pelletier and Malcasian, the 14-26 mark, 28th goal of the season for Wayne Boomer. He entered tonight's game third in the USHL in points and assists, 189 shots, fourth most, and fifth best plus minus at plus 25. Gohansky's line onto the ice for Lincoln. He wins the draw against Kim. Up to the point, Young, a high shot redirected in. And the Stars have taken a 3-2 lead here tonight. Their first lead of the game comes right off of the face-off win. Not sure if it hit a defenseman or something else, or maybe it didn't just change direction. It looked like it might have. Nick Young with the tally to give the Stars the 1-4 advantage. Clean face-off win and a blast from the point. Makes it 3-2. I mentioned it before. Kohansky is just phenomenal in the face-off circle. Won that draw against Kim and now gets another one with him at center ice. Lancers win this one. It's Reynolds over towards Sedaister. First deficit of the game for Omaha. They overcame a pair of deficits last night. Marine back to Kohansky, dangling in front, back to Marine, backhander denied by Shaker. The Stars that close to taking a 2-goal lead. Omaha looking to slow things down. Primo, cross ice for Sedaister. Up ice, Kim, one touches over the line. Little trouble for the Lancers on the zone entry. Stars have buckled down in a big way. They got the odd man rush to tie the game up, and now they've taken their first lead of the game. Kim, cross ice for Reynolds, gains the red line and flies the puck into the zone before going for a change. Drew Nelson the first one to it, turned it over behind the net at the side of the cage. Israelov couldn't connect on a pass to Primo. Rude banks it out of the zone. KJ Sauer receives. Sauer, far boards, met by Kilpala. Banks it in deep behind Shaker. Primo up the wall, blasts it out of the zone, but this will be icing on Omaha. 3:47 to go in the second period. All three of Lincoln's goals have come in the second period. Coming off of the sticks of Williams, 2:08 in, Bloomer 14:26 mark, and then Young less than a minute later at the 15:06 mark. Tanner Morgan to take the draw, wins it, and gets it back to Graham. There comes Israelov. Was in the midst of the line change and now able to complete it as Israelov floats the puck in at Prowse from behind the blue line. Banked up and not quite out of the zone. The Lancers keep. Morgan dangling, right circle, around Poole. He'll sweep it behind the net. Tanner Morgan to the far side, slings it to the front of the net, couldn't get the redirect. Graham chops it in front, but Karen's stick was tangled up. He flipped out of the zone and all the way down ice. Icing washed out. Graham angled away from the puck by Loomer. Pelletier line on the ice for Lincoln. Loomer netted the game-tying goal. Young gave Lincoln the lead that they currently hold. 3 minutes to go. A tie-up in the corner far side. Stars ahead of the Lancers by 1. Morgan controls the puck. Works it over near side to Karen. Cam Karen off of the boards to himself. Can't get past Pelletier. Banks it to the blue line, far side where Loomer controls. Looks toward the red line before Vig chops it right back in. Ibsen out of the zone and up ice to Lane Loomer. Pelletier right behind him. Dishes it to him before it's backhanded beneath the goal line. Lance moved to the glass by Malkasian, but Hiles picks it up. Cole Hiles ahead for lefty Markinitis. This line has produced both Omaha goals. Trying to do it again. Drop pass. Lance, side of the net. It was just out of the reach of Vig. Vig tries to center. No one there. He's looking for Hiles. It'll be to St. Hubert picking it up in the neutral zone. Flipped in behind Prowse with 2 minutes to go in the second. Nate Pedersen on the far wing gains the zone. Pedersen, base of the circle. Cycles around the net near side. Got it up toward the point. Poole tries to backhand it around toward Paderna. He is shoved into the wall behind to St. Hubert. Vandertop instead receives far end. Shoved down by Spencer. Worked up the wall but not out. Sloper's blast misses the cage. Poole backhands it around Vig. Vandertop goes back to the point. Poole with a nice job keeping the zone. Deep for Paderna. Leveled by to St. Hubert. Paderna gets back to the puck. Works it near side, but it's chopped north by Vig. He's got a step. Sloper in front of him. Vig dangling toward the net, but shoved away. And Prowse will wrist it out of the zone. Kohansky picks up the puck and goes north with Marine. Kohansky with a shot, trickles off of the pad of Shaker, wide to the far post. He stretches out and covers it up far side as Kohansky and Reynolds will push and shove behind the play. Evan Shaker shaking that left leg a little bit, is very slow to get up. He's balanced against the far post. 68 seconds to go in the second period. 3-2 Lincoln lead over Omaha. Mentioned Shaker didn't play the last 2 nights. Last time he was between the ice last Saturday against the Fargo Force. Got 33 of 38 shots. The night before was tremendous. 2 Fridays ago, he made 49 saves on 51 shots. The Lancers 5-2 win at Fargo. All with the puck in their own zone. Trying to work it north. Sedester couldn't get around Kohansky. Here he comes, right circle. Delays Marine shot. Fought off by Shaker. And he goes down in pain for just a second once more, but now is back up. Young over to the right side. Nelson feeds it around the backside of the net for Marine. Takes a big hit from Reynolds. Puck is loose of their skates. Now controlled by Karen. Banked off of the glass down ice with 36 seconds to go. It'll be icing on Omaha. Well, the Lancers have been chasing their tail a little bit these last few minutes. Really, ever since Lincoln took the lead off of the faceoff win, the goal from the point from Young. Controlled to the point. Nelson with a shot is denied. Shaker makes the save. Loomer a little too close on the rebound, so Reynolds will escort him to the glass away from the Omaha net. Loomer got his stick in there a bit late. Shaker kind of keeled over as he skates over to the near corner. It's going to be really interesting what he's talked about in the locker room between periods, because he has been clearly in pain the last few minutes. 28.2 seconds to go in the second period. Lancers trail by 1. Delansky against Morgan. Brief tie-up on the draw. Karen comes up with it for Omaha. Stanius flies this way down ice. Morgan in a foot race in the puck helps to wash out icing. Nelson from Young, up for Pelletier. Stanius disrupts and steals. Centers it for Morgan, but he couldn't cleanly receive. Karen trying to play it from his back toe over the line, could not. We go back to the neutral zone. 5 seconds left. It'll be flown in by Nelson to the side of the net. And touched up there by Graham as time expires on the second period. A late whack from Lane Loomer once again. And Karen will come over to give him the business. A foot race toward the puck. second period belongs to Lincoln, though, as they score 3 times in the frame and take a 1-goal lead into the locker room. 20 minutes to go. The Lancers look to regroup and buckle up for a big third period. We'll come back in just a little bit with our second intermission report. Omaha trails Lincoln 3-2. This is the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. again at Liberty First Credit Union Arena, where the Omaha Lancers trail the Lincoln Stars by a 3-2 score after 2 periods of play. Joe Norman with you on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. And let's run through the scoring of tonight's game. The Lancers got on the board first in this game, but the only goal of the first period, it came off of the stick of Charlie Big at the 14:28 mark. Cole Hiles and lefty Marketitis picking up the apples on that tally as the Lancers would break through with the game's first tally of the night. Prowse, his most recent game, stopped 20 of 24 shots on Thursday against Des Moines. Lancers on the power play. Lefty Marketitis walks over to the far board side, now cuts inside the circle. Marketitis, base of the circle, feeds it in front, and somehow it trickles through! Charlie Big, the power play goal! As the Lancers get the scoring started tonight. Marketitis found him in front, and Omaha leads 1-0 with 5:32 to go in the first period. That was the only goal of the first period, and in the second, Lincoln outscored Omaha 3-1. They would tie the game up on a beautiful dangle in front from Cooper Williams, his 5th goal of the season at the 2:08 mark. Cade Kohansky with the apple to make it a 1-1 hockey game. Charlie Vig and his line would come through once again, though, putting the Lancers back in the lead, his 2nd of the game and 9th of the season at the 9:11 mark. And once again, the apples were from Marketitis and Hiles to help the Lancers take a 2-1 lead. Looking ahead, gives it to Vig. He gains the line to Marketitis. Back in front for Vig. Not a lot of space to work with, but he scores! Charlie Vig in the crease. Redirects it past Prowse. His 2nd of the game makes it 2-1 Omaha. That put the Lancers up by 1 goal, but since then, pretty much was all Lincoln. Now the Lancers outshot the Stars in the period 17-14. They were outshooting them in the game 35-22. But Lincoln got the next 2 goals. Lane Loomer on a 2-on-1 rush with Alex Pelletier one time to pass Devin Shaker at the 14:26 mark. And then Nick Young right off of the face-off win by Cade Kohansky, scoring from the left point, his 9th goal of the season. The big guns have come through on both sides. Vig with his 2 goals here tonight, the captain for the Lancers. Top 3 on the team in points and coming through in a big way with those 2 tallies. But Loomer and Young, who are 2 of the best at their position in the USHL, also coming through in a big way for Lincoln. A 3-2 lead for the Stars after 40 minutes of play here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Lincoln is 0 for 2 on the power play here tonight. They got 1 power play in the first and then another in the second period. Could not score on either of them in the second period. Penalties going to Nathaniel Poole for tripping at the 3:34 mark. And that was a situation Poole was dealing with, the Lancers going north on a 2-on-none rush. Tanner Morgan fed it over from his left side to the right to Jack Stanius. Stanius, as he made contact with the puck, was upended in the crease. Poole had to do it, though. He was darting off of the bench on a mad sprint toward his own net to prevent a goal from being given up. And then the Stars killed off that penalty shortly afterwards. Brady Arneson went for high sticking at the 6:53 mark. Lincoln was not able to cash in on that power play. When we come back, more from around the USHL. This is the only game in the USHL today, but we're going to take a look at the playoff picture here with just a few weeks left in the season. More to come here from Liberty First Credit Union Arena. It's 3-2, Lincoln over Omaha right now. Second intermission report continues after this. Just a few minutes away from the start of period number 3 between the Lancers and the Stars here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Joel Norman with you on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Only game going on in the USHL today is this one. This is a good opportunity for us to take a peek at how the standings are shaping out with just a few weeks left in the season. Let's focus on the Western Conference right now. We mentioned that Lincoln is sitting in 4th place with 57 points. All 6 playoff spots in the West have already been locked up, so we already know the teams that will be competing in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where they're going to be playing and who's going to have to play on the road to start the playoffs, who's going to have a first-round bye. Now, the top of the picture looks pretty set, and it's going to probably get locked up here pretty soon. Sioux Falls is in 1st place with 78 points. Fargo is 5 points back of them with 73. If the season ends today, both of those teams receive a first-round bye, and they would not have to play that first weekend after the regular season ends. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. There's a lot of separation between 2nd place and everyone else. Again, Fargo's 73 points. The next closest team is Sioux City. They're 14 points back of the Fargo Force. Sioux City's keeping an eye on this game today because they are only 2 points ahead of Lincoln. Sioux City with 59 points for 3rd, Lincoln 57 points for 4th place. Now, if Lincoln were to lose in regulation tonight, they'd stay back of Sioux City and would also only remain 1 point ahead of Tri-City. If the season ended today, Lincoln would host Tri-City in the best-of-3 first-round series, but the Storm would love to try and see if they can inch past the Stars and maybe host a first round themselves. They've got 56 points in 5th place, and Des Moines is in 6th place with 53 points. Just 6 points separate the 3rd place Sioux City Musketeers from the 6th place Des Moines Buccaneers. Anything can happen this time of the year. All 6 playoff spots have been punched for the Western Conference, but it is going to be really interesting to see who finishes in which spot the rest of the way. That does it for the second intermission report. Our score, Lincoln 3, Omaha 2. The 3rd period is next on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Here we go. It's the 3rd period between the Lancers and the Stars as we get set to get back underway in just a moment. Omaha trails Lincoln 3-2. The Lancers in their previous 2 games this weekend outscored the Tri-City Storm 3-1 in the 3rd period. Now, if you include last night's overtime, it was a 4-1 Omaha advantage. Tonight, they trail by 1. They did a great job in the 3rd period the last 2 days, overcoming deficits or making sure that they were in the lead again for good. For Lincoln, their previous 2 games this weekend, they have been outscored 3-0 in the 3rd period. We're ready to go with the 3rd tonight at Liberty First Credit Union Arena as we're back underway. Lancers control the draw and attack right to left. Puck lobbed into the left of Browns, rolls around near end. and has flipped up the wall out of the Lincoln defensive zone. Shots at 35-22 in favor of Omaha. Lance wires it hard around the boards, but Young is there to meet his clearing attempt. Kept around right point. Poole flips it just wide of the near post. Pelletier beaten to the puck by Hiles, but he turned it over to Loomer, so Hiles will reset behind his own net. Cole Hiles, reversing his direction, works it back toward Finn de St. Hubert. Another classic I-80 rivalry game here tonight. A one-goal affair between Lincoln and Omaha. Mentions the 6th time these two teams have matched up this season. As here's a steal, right wing side. Lance, left side for Prima. Wrist shot is blocked away. It sails out of play. 3 of the first 5 meetings this season have been determined by 1 goal, and all 3 of those went beyond regulation. 2 games decided by more than 1 goal. 6-2 Lincoln win January 24th and a 5-1 win November 14th. Both of those games at the Icebox. Each of the previous 2 matchups in this building were decided by 1 goal between the Stars and the Lancers. Israelov cannot fully control the draw, gets some help, whacking it up to the point. Prima walks in, near corner, sets it up in front, hits off of the skate of Reynolds and goes wide. Prima centered in front, now gets an opportunity up top. Sinaister scores! Stanislav Sinaister, his first USHL goal. We're tied up 3-3. Relentless forecheck from Artem Prima, and the Lancers tie the game. What a celebration from Sinaister. Wristing it home from the left point. They're going to pick up that puck to celebrate with him. Commotion in front of the net. The Stars felt that there was goaltender interference. Rocky Russo is asking for a challenge. Ryder Reynolds just now picks up the puck. Russo's going to chat with the officials on the Lincoln bench. And it will be a review. Cameron Giancarlo to take a look. He explains to Ron Fogarty. Stanislav Sinaister let it rip from the left point amid some commotion atop the crease. Artem Prima tried an initial shot from the left corner. Let it rip toward the net. Save made, it went behind the cage. Prima tried to poke it right back in front, short side where no one was stationed on either team. Lancers couldn't get a stick on it. It scored all the way back to the left point. And Sinaister wristed it past Krause into the empty cage. However, Lincoln has challenged the play. And right now, referees Cameron Giancarlo and Dawson Black are taking a look. The question is if there was any goaltender interference and Krause was impeded in any way. Ball on the ice, a goal. And the officials asking to take a quick look. Lancers appearing to have taken the lead, but we're going to have to see. This is a tremendous review in terms of the momentum opportunity. If the goal stands, Lancers tie the game. If it's overturned, Lincoln keeps some momentum after an early hiccup to start the period. Both referees stationed over on the far side to take a peek and see what comes of this. While we wait, note 3,617 fans on hand for tonight's game. So a great crowd for this game with the Lancers and the Stars. It's always special when these two do it against each other. And it's always really a 70-30 crowd, if not worse sometimes. At 70%, I'd say cheering for the Lancers most times here. We saw it a couple times previous seasons. The Stars might have had more fans in this building than Omaha did. But here tonight, the Lancer contingent has made themselves heard, but there's also plenty of black and blue in the stands. So it makes the rivalry so special, being just about an hour apart, and there being so much excitement and pride for both of these teams. 3,617 fans on hand for tonight's game. As I mentioned before, the Lancers after tonight only have 5 more home games remaining on the schedule. Next weekend, they will be taking on Team USA Hockey's National Team Development Program's U17s. And it's alumni weekend. Former Lancers players are going to be on hand, and they'll be signing autographs during the first intermission next Saturday. Get your tickets for next Friday and Saturday's home games at Lancers.com. Next Friday is 7:05 p.m. puck drop, 6:05 in next Saturday's contest. Tonight is the first of 4 consecutive home games for the Lancers. They are hoping to continue some of the momentum that they got from that last road trip in which they won 3 of the 4 games away from home. It was a tremendous road trip. The Lancers bringing some of that momentum here tonight. Here we go, the referees are coming out of the penalty box, and we await the decision from this challenge from the Lincoln bench. Call on the ice is a good goal. And the Lancer bench erupts as Sinaister scores his first in the USHL. Rocky Russo awaiting the explanation. Giancarlo comes out to give it. Russo challenged for interference on the play. Watching the replay right now, he thought that he made a motion that a stick came in at Prowse. But after the review, it's ruled a good goal, and the Lancers tie it up, 3-3. Tie game. Sinaister with his first USHL goal is right off of the face-off win. He wires it into the attacking zone. Comes back to Morgan. Tries to center for Karen, but he was tangled up in front of the net. Will Corton picks it up. He'll bring it north with Kohanski to his right. Corton dangling up the middle with a wrist shot. Save made by Shaker. Rebound picked up by Karen. He'll slow it down on the far side. Worked across ice, but right toward Kohanski. Sinaister disrupts, comes back to Kohanski. Dangles in front. Save made. And a whistle sounds amidst the net front scramble as Reynolds shoves away Kohanski from the Lancer net. Lincoln coming out hard there. Shaker. Saw him banged up a little bit in that second period. He's taking an extra moment to settle himself. PJ Lyle comes over for a word with him to make sure he's okay. If you're the Stars, you're going to keep charging the net. You're going to try and get some extra wax in and hope that Shaker's just dealing with something right now, and that maybe one of those shots might trickle through on a rebound. But he's battling hard here tonight. A 3-3 game, 18:20 to go in the third between Lincoln and Omaha. 36 shots for the Lancers, 24 for the Stars. Omaha controls the draw, and the faceoff win by Vig. Graham ahead for Hiles. On the far wing, gains the line. Cole Hiles, nice move beneath the goal line, sweeps behind the net. Hiles back up to the blue line. Far side. Reverses his direction, trying to shake off Pedersen. He cannot. Pumps the puck in deep. They couldn't get to it as it was dished around him by Drew Nelson to the near corner. Markonitis in front for Vig. Tangled up. Hiles gets an opening. He cannot get around Prowse. Carried up by Brownshausen to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Vig cannot keep it onside. Good recovery by Brownshausen. And now he'll carry it ahead. He's all alone on the rush. Graham defending him. Brownshausen banks it in behind Shaker. Lifted up and out of the zone by Markonitis. Back to Braden Sloper at the Lincoln blue line. Poole ahead. Now Mount Casey cutting toward the net. Shoots and misses the cage. Got an extra step there and got the Lancers defense sleeping. Now a redirect and they score. Sloper's shot changes direction. Pelletier redirects it in front. And Lincoln is back in the lead. Alex Pelletier with the goal as he inches closer and closer to the top of the Stars' single-season goal-scoring list. He picks up another big one there. Goal number 45 of the season for him. He is 2 back of tying former NHLer Brandon Bochenski for the second most goals in Lincoln Stars history. The standing tally for Pelletier there. He went back-to-back games without a goal as his first of the weekend and makes it 4-3 Lincoln. Not quite 3 minutes into the third. We've already had a goal for each team as Lincoln is offsides. To give credit to the Stars, they were really coming hard after the goal scored by St. Easter. It's like a fire had been lit underneath them. A couple of golden opportunities for the Lancer defense was just sleeping in front of Shaker. They're able to get a redirection from Pelletier to retake the lead. He loses his footing in the far wing, gaining the zone. That allows Omaha to exit. Prima, far wing. Back up to the blue line. Gives it down low. Kim with a one-timer right through the crease. Misses the net. Prima slaps it around the boards for Kim far side. Trying to get it up toward the point to St. Hubert for Israelov. Now dished up top. Prima's shot denied. Rebound in! They score! Igor Kim! Back and forth we go! You gotta love the I-80 rivalry. It's 4-4 with 16:44 to go in the third. The Euro line comes through for the Lancers. Once again, Prima starts the opportunity. The initial shot denied. And then Igor Kim scoring on the rebound. Center ice face-off coming up. Morgan could not fully control it. Stanius pokes the puck into the zone, though. Young tangled up with Stanius. Morgan up with it. Looks to the front of the net. Couldn't get it there to Karen. Williams shoved into the wall by Karen on the far wall as Nelson tosses it up towards center ice. Nice play to Williams on the wing. He's got a step heading to the defense. Loses his footing as the puck is shuffled away from the net. And here come the Lancers with numbers as we get a whistle behind the play. Shaker down in pain. And Williams being guided away from the Lancer net. AJ Sauer, for no reason, pushing and shoving with Cam Karen far side. Now he'll be guided away. Jackson Rue tries to come in and help him out. The linesmen jump into the play. Williams is pleading his case right now with one of the referees, and Shaker is done for the day. He has been hobbled aplenty ever since midway through the second. Nils Morens will play his third game in as many days. And we're going to see if there's going to be a penalty here. With as much as Williams is talking, you gotta think he thinks he's going to the box. He does not appear to be. That was a lengthy discussion. I think the Lancers want a penalty to be called. Ron Fogarty chatting with one official, the other one over to see Rocky Russo. Game's had a little bit of everything, and we haven't even hit our first media timeout of the third. 4-4 the score. Omaha with 2 goals in the period. Lincoln with 1. Nils Morens entering the game. Let's recap the scoring of the third while we have a breather here after the goaltending change. The Lancers ended the period trailing 3-2. Stanislav St-Easter scored on a wrist shot from the left point, a minute 10 in for his first USHL goal. Alex Pelletier redirected Brayden Sloper's shot at the 2:42 mark to give Lincoln the lead once more and make it 4-3. But Igor Kim scored on a net front scramble, the 3:16 mark, to tie it back up. Kim has a goal and an assist already in this period. That last tally is 11th of the season. We're back underway. Morens is now between the pipes for Omaha. 28th game for him. He's 6-16-1-2, 370 goals against, 883 save percentage. Morgan with the puck behind the Lincoln net, glued to the wall by Kohansky. Nelson picks it up and carries out of the zone, flipping it ahead to St. Hubert, disrupts with Corton. Lancers wanted a penalty as Marine works it off with a glass. Funky ricochet toward the front of the net. Marine scoops it up, gives to the point. Nelson with a high shot, blocked by Stanius. Kept onside by Lincoln. Marine on the far wall, worked into the corner. Lance, the first one there, sends it back up the wall, but Marine intercepts. Loses a handle on the puck as Lance kicks it over to St. Hubert. Up ice, and Stanius couldn't handle it, but Morgan does. At center ice, Karen lofts it over the blue line. Worked ahead the other way. Loomer leaned into by Lance. Picked up and worked back to Marine. Tries to give to Loomer. He does. A wrist shot denied by Morans. At the side of the net, Loomer recovers. Looking to the point. He finds Young. Young down low to Samuel Marine. Back to Nick Young. With some space, fires a shot, but it's gloved by Nils Morans. Now the Riga Latvia native being tested early into his night. But a nice save made there on the straightaway shot from Young. 15-10 to go in the third period. Face off to the right of Morans in the Lancer defensive zone with Vig set to take the draw against Mount Casian. It's controlled over in the near corner. Omaha unable to steer it out. Hiles not quite able to get past Mount Casian. Cross ice pass picked off by Kilpala. Kilpala up toward Hiles, poked away from him by Sloper. Kilpala wires it around the boards. Prowse steadies behind the net. Emery Ibsen comes in for Lincoln to the far side. Now back behind his own net, turned over. Hiles scoops up. Hiles across ice, picked off by Pelletier. Heads north with Loomer. Sloper and Hiles both going down. Sloper lost his stick. Loomer over toward Mount Casian. His one-time blast is blocked away. Might have been a wide open net far side. Now Pelletier takes an awkward collision into the walls. It's fed up left point for Young. Young, delayed penalty right now on Omaha as a wrist shot from Loomer misses the net. Mount Casian is down in pain near post side. Down on his side with 14-18 to go in the third. Lincoln's going to get a power play in a moment. Casian's on one knee, now standing up under his own power. Penalty is going to be on Charlie Vig. He's going to put the Lancers down a skater in a pivotal spot. It's going to be reviewed now for a major penalty. Officials are into the box with 14-18 to go in the third. Omaha and Lincoln knotted up at 4 apiece. Lancers out shooting the Stars 39-27. We'll take our media timeout in the midst of this review. We'll see how long Lincoln will be on the power play. Back with more in a moment on the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Your part on that last sequence where the penalty was committed. I thought it was Charlie Vig in the box. It's actually Drake Graham for Omaha. Vig is skating over to see what the officials decide on this review for a major penalty. Evan Mount Casian upended right in front of the Omaha net in the midst of an offensive zone sequence for the Lancers. Officials reviewing to see if there's a major penalty. Graham's in the box, and it looks like the officials are about to step back out onto the ice. Cameron Giancarlo and Dawson Black. Cameron Giancarlo has been the referee for each of the last 2 days, the last 3 days really, for the Lancers. Black is going to make the call. 5-minute major for checking from behind on Drake Graham. And that will also be a game misconduct. Graham's night is finished. The Lancers are down to 5 defensemen the rest of the way. So a 5-minute power play coming up for the Lincoln Stars. It's a 4-4 game, and they have a golden opportunity to take a stranglehold on this one. Brock Cheslock will skate over to serve the penalty for Graham. And here we go. A lot of ways this could shape how the rest of this game goes, the outcome of this. Lincoln has not scored on the power play in its first 2 opportunities tonight. They have been dynamite this season against the Lancers, entering tonight at 34.8% on the power play in this rivalry. Lancer PK entering tonight second worst in the league. They also haven't scored a shorthanded goal in 3 of the previous 4 games. They'd be happy just to keep Lincoln off the scoreboard over the next 5 minutes. Stars to the power play. They win the draw. Kohanski at the right point, up top to Nick Young. Alex Pelletier to the right point. Young bobbles, but keeps it onside. Kohanski left side, cross ice for Pelletier. Up top, Loomer reverses back to Kohanski. Easing in, he'll dish it over to Pelletier. Across ice, Young receives. Young looking in front for a tip. Comes from Loomer at the side of the cage, but Morans keeps it out. Loomer into the boards hard, a check from de Saint-Hubert. Young at the point, delays to the side of the cage, one touched up top. Kohanski lining up a shot, fought off by de Saint-Hubert. Loomer to Kohanski again, left circle, cross ice, Pelletier. It's fought off by Morans. There was an opening, but he hustled over to make the save up high. Loose puck near side. Pelletier pops it free. Sauer looking for Loomer. He delays, fires up high, and somehow sneaks it over the left shoulder of Nils Morans. A terrific shot from Lane Loomer to give Lincoln a 5-4 lead. The tightest of windows, but Loomer finds it for his second goal of the night and third in the last 2 days. 5-4 Stars. They strike 55 seconds into the power play. Still 4 minutes and 5 seconds of power play time for Lincoln, but they have scored on the man advantage. This is what we were talking about, with the opportunity to take a stranglehold on this game. A situation like that, where they score and still have 4 minutes to be up a skater. Well, the officials are chatting at center ice right now. Ron Fogarty just went over for a discussion. And the Lancers are challenging the previous call on the ice. So after one replay review, we have another one right after the Stars score. So the Lancers challenge. We're going to wait to see what happens here. They surrender the go-ahead goal. It's called as such on the ice. We'll wait to see what comes. We'll take another break. It's 5-4 Lincoln, but their most recent goal was under review. This is the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network. Well, it's a quick review, and the call on the ice is confirmed as a goal. So both coaches have challenged in this period. Both have lost their challenge. 13:22 to go in the third period. It's a 5-4 Lincoln lead. Omaha kind of gets a timeout out of it. They still have 4:05 to go on the PK. Winning the draw, Reynolds pokes it ahead, but right over toward Drew Nelson. Bloomer scoring a moment ago, his 29th of the season, second of the game on the power play at the 6:38 mark. Two teams have combined to score 4 times in the opening 6:38 of this period. Here's Corton, drops it off down low, looking for a redirect. There's Williams near the front of the crease, but he couldn't get it. Missed the net, and up top it comes to Corton. Williams scored early in the second period, holds on the far wall. Back up top, Nelson to Williams, left side. His shot denied, rebound roofed off the top of the crossbar, but stays out. Now Pedersen carries the mail. He'll thread it over just past the stick of Williams. Corton beneath the net. Wraps it around near side. Got it up toward the right point. Nelson to his left for Williams. Across ice, Rude. His shot blocked away by Karen. He's without a stick though, and the Stars scoop it up. Pedersen. Karen gets his stick back. Nate Pedersen behind the net to the far side. Rude works it back underneath. 2:55 to go on the PK. Banked off of the wall to the point. Drew Nelson holds, gives it over to Rude right side, back to Nelson. Nelson to the left side finds Williams. Same personnel staying on the ice for both sides of the last 2.5 minutes. Rude with a quick shot, denied. Lancers finally clear, and 4 very tired penalty killers will make their way off. Nelson from behind his own net in the Lincoln zone. 2:24 to go on the kill for the Lancers. Kohanski backtracks to Alex Pelletier. 1 goal in this period. Gives it over toward Loomer, looking for the hat trick. Poked away from him. Arneson will chip off the glass ahead to the opposing blue line. Young controls for Lincoln and brings it behind his own net, leaving it for Cade Kohanski. Kohanski to the trailer, Pelletier. Now Loomer enters the zone, bobbling it for a moment. St. Hubert popped it away from him. Lance lifts it off of the glass. It's like the puck was played with a high stick, and we do get a whistle on the near side. We'll see where the faceoff comes. I think it was played by the Stars at a high stick. It will be in the neutral zone right outside of the Lincoln bench, or rather the Omaha bench. Big against Kohanski. Charlie Big controls the faceoff. Over toward the far line. Pelletier met by Hiles. Backtracks it toward Young. Here's Pelletier. In his own zone. Weaves over the red line. Left side. Kohanski skates to stick. Popped off of the boards beneath the goal line to St. Hubert. Wires it around the boards, but not out. Loomer at the right point. Back into the corner for Pelletier near side. Loomer. Front of the Lancer bench. To his left to Young. Nick Young lines up a high shot. Morin secures the puck. Sauer getting a little too close for Lance's liking, so Lance gives him a shove. KJ Sauer loses his bucket. 1:18 to go on the Lancer penalty kill. Brock Cheslock is currently serving the major penalty. Drake Graham for cross-checking at the 5:42 mark. The game misconduct as well for Graham. Stars have scored once on the power play. A seeing eye wrist shot top shelf by Lane Loomer. Came with a 6:38 mark, the 4th goal of this period. 10:35 to go in the frame. And a face-off near circle side coming up. Kohanski into the dot against Morgan. Face-off controlled by the Lancers. Reynolds met by 2 defenders. Coughs it up to Kohanski. Loomer to Pelletier at the point. Left side Young. And a commotion in front of the net. Pelletier and Young back and forth. Pelletier on the right side. Back up toward Young. Dishes it right wing side. Loomer in front. Sauer shut down. Covered up. As Sauer shoved around in the crease of the near post. The Lancers try to pull him away from Morins. Devin Shaker had to leave this game due to injury earlier in this period. So Omaha is going to be extra protective of Nils Morins. After the puck was secured by Morins, Sauer got an extra whack in there. Sauer's a pretty big guy himself. 6'4", a lot of commotion in the crease that he can provide. We've seen it already a few times this period. 55 seconds left on the Lincoln power play. It's popped toward the right wing circle. Now over to the wall. Nelson sends it north for Corton. Big hit on Nelson along the wall. He's slow to get up. Now stands on his feet. Receives the puck from down low from Pettersson. Pettersson gets it back near side. Weaving toward the blue line. Feeds across ice. Williams to Pettersson. Pettersson fires a shot just wide of the far post. And Kilpila brings it around near end. Rude meets him there. Loose puck in the corner to your side with 20 seconds left on the penalty. Cheslock about to stand up and try to come out as Arneson lobs it down the ice all the way back to Prowse out of the tie-up. 10 seconds to go on the PK. Lincoln has scored once and it leads 5-4. Nelson around the base of the boards. Morins steadies it to the far corner. Lance up the wall for Vig. Tries to muscle it out of the zone and does. Cheslock to the bench, Markonitis on the ice. The St. Hubert toward Lance, loses his footing. Now Kazian takes over, wraps it around the net to the near side, goes back up to the right point to Poole. Nathaniel Poole to the left point, gets it back. Looks right side and dishes there to Malkazian. Now to Vandertop. Left point, held on to there by the Stars and weave toward the right side for Poole. Over toward the near wall. Malkazian guided to the boards by de St. Hubert. Markonitis pulls the puck free. Set it over for Hiles. Speeds into the attacking zone. Cannot sidestep Ibsen. Maneuvering toward the puck, Markonitis comes up with it and brings it around near side. Drops it off in front, no one there. Stepping up and taking over possession is Hiles. He'll bank it over toward Vig. Charlie Vig for Hiles. Low shot through the crease. Just misses Markonitis' stick. Kilpila into the near corner. He's glued to the wall by Casey Vandertop. Kilpila trying to get a stick on it, cannot. Hiles does. Up to the point. Big shot denied by Prowse. Rebound fought for. Kilpila still in deep. Is again pushed to the wall by Vandertop. Now Kazian takes a big hit from Hiles as the puck's worked around far to near side. Goderna back to Vandertop. Kim chops away at the puck. Can't poke it away as Malkazian gains center red and dumps it into the Omaha zone. 7:47 to go. The Lancers down by 1. They attack right to left here in period number 3, wearing their specialty night jerseys, the black and green sweaters for mental health awareness. Lane Loomer with a steal beneath the goal line. Reynolds hooks him up against the wall, and Omaha regains possession. Here comes Lance on the near side. Fired around the boards to the far side as Railov tried to let it fly free for Prima, but could not get there. Pelletier loses it at center ice. Banked off of the wall, right back to him. He'll lob in toward the right of Morins. Sudeister for Omaha. Near side, kept on side by Sauer. He intercepts, but gives it away to Israelov. Kim, trouble on the near board side. Set it far end to Prima. Martin Prima slowing it down near side to Sudeister. Passed ahead for Morgan. Lobbed high in the air to the left of William Prowse. Lance pinches way ahead. The Lancers change up their forward line. Morgan going to go up toward Lance again. He could not reconnect. Well, again, Omaha down to 5 defensemen with Drake Graham's 5-minute misconduct and a 5-minute major and game misconduct. Here's the St. Hubert over toward Kilpila. Awkward collision for Corton against the wall. Here come the Lancers with speed. Stanius joined by de St. Hubert, tries a shot. It's blocked, poked into the high slot. Morgan trying to settle it. Stanius could not fling it off of the far wall, and Kohanski clears the zone. Rolled in toward Morins. He'll stick it aside. Kohanski up with the puck, has his pocket picked. Morgan tied up, and a stick lift on him prevents him from exiting. Samuel Marine beneath the Omaha goal line, brings the puck over to your side, drops it off short side, but then Omaha steals away as Morgan controls. 5:55 to go in the third. Lancers down by 1. Clearing attempt, blocked away, delayed offsides. Omaha gets an extra second. Biggs line hops out. Marketitis carries the mail north on the near side. He's over the line, flips it across the line, takes a hit from Ibsen. Young to the near wall. Marketitis gives him a shove, but the Stars control it out to center. Big with a big hit near side. Reynolds will roll it in at Prowse, who gloves and holds on. 5:29 to go in the third. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a big finish here between Omaha and Lincoln. The Stars lead the Lancers by 1. We'll be back after this. About to get back underway here in Ralston. The Lancers trailing the Lincoln Stars 5-4. 5:29 to go in the third. It's been a hectic third period, to say the very least. These two teams have gone back and forth. We have not seen consecutive goals scored in this game since Lincoln netted back-to-back tallies, less than a minute apart late in the second. Omaha committed a 5-minute major penalty, surrendered the go-ahead power play goal to Lane Loomer. It's his second of the game earlier in this frame. And that's the difference right now. Loomer has the puck behind the net, tries to center for Malkasian. It's broken up. Lancers control. Here comes Finn to St. Hubert with 5:11 to go. Up ice for Hiles. Slows down and backtracks the Lance at his own zone. Just 5 defensemen available for the Lancers for the rest of this one. As de St. Hubert caught the stick of Vig, flying it in toward Prowse. Omaha sends out the Euro line, looking for the equalizer. Reynolds up the wall, Primo. Battling with Loomer in front of the Lancer bench. It's pulled over the line. Pelletier delays, shoots, and it's just barely fought off by Morans. Pelletier gets it back in the high slot, delays, and he scores. His second of the game. Both have come here in the third period. And Lincoln makes it 6-4. A 2-goal night from Pelletier and Loomer as the Stars up by a pair. That is Pelletier's second of the game and 46th of the season, leading the entire USHL. What a terrific campaign he's had. Was stopped the first time in the high slot, got another opportunity moments later, and he made the most of that one there. Lancers down by a pair, 4.5 to go. The St. Hubert up ice, Stanius got a stick on it, steers it ahead. Karen poke back toward the line. Karen gets it back from Morgan and sneaks it in! A quick response for the Lancers as Karen makes it a 1-goal game. Don't go anywhere. This one's not finished yet. Karen from Morgan. It's 6-5 Lincoln. A tremendous response for Omaha. After a moment ago, the Stars had just taken a 2-goal lead, and you thought, hey, maybe there's some breathing room. All of a sudden, we're right back where we were a minute ago. What a ridiculous third period this has been. Lincoln has scored 3 times in this period. Omaha has matched them. But right now it's the Stars leading by 1. They enter this period up by 1, and there's 4:15 to go in a 1-goal game. Lancers control it. Another goal at home for Cam Karen. 6 of his 8 tallies have come here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena. His second time scoring against Lincoln. Lancers kept it onside briefly. Now are able to keep it in the zone. Vig in the corner. Up top, Markonitis wanted it, but Corton with good anticipation breaks up the pass. Will Corton the other way with a wrist shot for the near wall, controlled by Nils Moritz. Moritz makes the save with 3:50 to go in regulation. It'll be a face-off near corner side. Big's line remains on the ice. He has scored twice in this game. Cam Karen a moment ago after Alex Pelletier made it a 2-goal Lincoln lead. Pelletier and Loomer on the ice. Pelletier is at the top of the circle. The faceoff controlled by Vig into the corner, but Loomer is the first one there. Pelletier from a sharp angle misses the net. Pull with the left point back toward Pelletier, just past his stick. Now Casian down low, met by Vig. Lance trying to pop it around the defense, able to control the play. Reese Lance gets it out of the zone. Hiles delays, now flings across ice for Markonitis. Poke it over the blue line, but right at Poole. Nathaniel Poole up toward Mount Casian. Over the line, but met by the defense. He's forced out wide. Loses his footing. Kelpala could not muscle it north, but Lance delays in the corner as he gets help. Here comes Israelov. The Euro's on the ice. Kim over the line, joined by Prima. Prima looking to the far side. His pass was broken up by Loomer. Back into the neutral zone we go. Artem Prima holds in the Lancer end and brings it up ice. Weaves around a couple of defenders. He gains the line. Prima tried one more dangle, but couldn't slip past Nelson. Good poke check by Kim, but the Stars recover and clear the zone. 2:48 to go. We're at even strength. It's 6-5 Lincoln. Israelov whacks it around the base of the boards near corner side. Nelson flung it up the wall, down ice. It's a foot race to the puck, and Kohansky washes out icing. Reynolds is the first to touch, but got it toward de St. Hubert. Passed ahead, Prima kicks to Israelov. Israelov slows down in the Omaha zone, now speeds it up near end. He lost it to Williams. Cooper Williams brought ahead toward the left point. Flings the puck behind the defense. Kohansky met by the Lancer defense, wires it back around to the far side. Reynolds has it poked away from him by Rude. Rude underneath for Kohansky. Now Kilpala changes his direction and feeds it back around for Ryder Reynolds. On the far board side, it's redirected up ice by Israelov, and this will be icing on Omaha. 1:55 to go. A defensive zone faceoff coming up in the Lancer zone. They're down by 1. With 1:55 to go. Rocky Russo sensing an opportunity to seize the momentum again here. Will deploy the Pelletier-Loomer line. You can't really call it one guy's line just because of how phenomenal those two players have been this season. Evan Malkasian has stepped in recent weeks, replacing Kate Kohansky, who previously was centering this line. But in a move to try to change up the depth of this team, Malkasian now drawing in with 2 of the top forwards in the USHL. Loomer 2 goals tonight, 29 on the season. Pelletier 2 tonight, has 46 on the campaign. Pelletier has 3 hat tricks already this year. One of them was against Omaha back on November 14th at the Icebox. Ball draw on the faceoff as Kim will be asked to leave and Vig will enter. Oh no, Kim will stay, it looks like. Beneath the Omaha goal line, Lancer's able to control it. Vig reversing his direction, pitchforks around for Reynolds. Far quarter side, Ryder Reynolds will fly it up towards center ice and down far enough for the Lancers to change up. The big line fully out there now. Markonitis and Hiles join him. Lefty Markonitis trying to lift it around Malkasian. Got it toward Hiles. Too hot to handle for Kilpala though. Lefty cleans it up for Omaha. 1:24 to go. They've got to get Moritz to the bench. They're going to try 2 down. Extra attacker out. Markonitis gains the zone, copped it up to Poole. He's looking at the empty net, feeds it across ice for Pelletier, wires it just wide of the cage. Loomer controls, centers for Malkasian, but he could not fully settle it. Now the Lancers come north with 64 seconds to go. Karen chips it off of the wall, trying to play to himself. Markonitis too strong on the far side for Spencer. Lob toward the front of the net on a stick, but then punched out of the zone by Poole. All the way back to the Omaha end for icing. 46.4 seconds to go. Lancers don't have a timeout because they challenged the goal earlier in the game and lost. Faceoff comes near circle. Lancers trying to make one last change late. They've got way too many skaters out. Morgan will have to go off. Karen, Vig, Stanius, Hiles, Markonitis, and Israelov on the ice. Lincoln icing the puck, getting an extra second to breathe. They've got their big guns out there anyway, though, in Loomer, Pelletier, and Young. Vig gets the faceoff up to Hiles. To the point, Markonitis, now Israelov. Sweeps away from danger, gives it to Markonitis. Israelov across for Hiles. 36 seconds. Lancers down by one. Hiles with a shot. It's blocked away to the far corner. Around the backside of the cage. Stanius gives it to Vig, back to Stanius. Stanius trying to walk in front, feeds it across. Israelov to Vig. 23 seconds to go. Charlie Vig, far side. Up toward the point. Israelov holds it, shoots. He scores! A redirect from Karen. We're tied. 16.3 seconds to go. A Karen comeback. He scores twice in the frame, and the Lancers down by a pair in 6-6 with 16.3 to go. Israelov let it rip. Karen redirected it home for a second goal of the period. Lincoln led this game 6-4 at the 15:27 mark. They have given up 2 goals since then to Cam Karen. 13 seconds to go in the third. It's 6-6. Lancer heroics here in the third from Karen, the first-year Lancer. Lance will glue it to the wall and will head to overtime in Omaha. Both teams pick up a point. Lincoln wants that because now they are 2 points ahead of the Tri-City Storm in the Western Conference standings. Lincoln's at 58 points. Tri-City is at 56. The season ended today. Those two play in the first round. Lancers earn a point for a third straight game and for the fourth time in their last 5 games. And now they look for an overtime triumph. What a period. We'll keep it right here. Overtime's up next in a moment. Well, there's a lot to recap from the third period. Lincoln ended the period up 3-2. Stanislav Snedeker scored his first USHL goal a minute 10 in. Alex Pelletier gave Lincoln the lead once again at the 2:42 mark, but Igor Kim responded at the 3:16 mark. Lane Loomer put the Stars up 5-4 at the 6:38 mark before Pelletier doubled up the lead with his second of the period. So with Pelletier and Loomer both scoring twice, the Stars were pretty much sticking to their game plan and getting the big production from the big guns. They led 6-4 at the 15:27 mark. But 18 seconds later, Cam Karen tied it up on a feed from Tanner Morgan, and then a moment ago, he redirected Adam Israelov's shot at the 19:44 mark. We're headed to overtime here in Omaha. The Lancers victorious in overtime last night, and now 3-on-3 hockey for the next 5 minutes in a sudden death scenario. If 5 minutes of OT isn't enough, we'll have a shootout. Lincoln at overtime on the season is 1-4, but 4-1 in shootouts. Omaha, with last night's victory, is 4-2 in overtime, 2-2 in shootouts. This is the 4th time in 6 matchups this season that the Stars and Lancers have required overtime. Stars going right to left, Lancers left to right. Lance, Hiles, and Israelov for Omaha. They win the draw. Hiles taking the faceoff, got it to Israelov. Brady Sloper, Nick Young, and Cade Kohansky on the ice for Lincoln. We'll remember Hiles scored the overtime winner against the Stars back on December 27th. He swings it out wide, looking north for Lance, peels back to his blue line. That was against Charles Menard. William Prowse is the netminder tonight. Hiles wraps it around the net, feeds it toward Lance. His redirect goes over to the far circle. And now the Lancers have to hustle back defensively. Sloper to the far side finds Kohansky. Young charging toward the net. Pelletier is onto the ice. Kohansky with space in the slot, shoots and scores. Hell of a hockey game. It goes to Lincoln. Cade Kohansky for the 2nd time this season scores an overtime winner in this building against the Lancers. He did it back on November 1st. He does it here on March 15th. And Lincoln picks up a 7-6 overtime victory over Omaha. A lot to love from this game from both sides. For the only game in the USHL, it didn't lack for entertainment. Lincoln wins it though, 48 seconds into overtime, as they win it 7-6. They have won 5 of the first 6 matchups this season against Omaha, but 4 of those 6 games have gone to overtime. The 2 teams will do it again in a couple of weeks. We hope to have you here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena for that one. But here tonight, it's a 7-6 Stars overtime victory. Overtime goal from Cade Kohansky. Other star players in this game for both teams. Lane Loomer scored twice for the Stars. Alex Pelletier, 2 goals. Charlie Vig with 2 tallies for Omaha. A hell of a game. And it goes Lincoln's way here on the road as they wrap up their 3-game weekend with a win after losing the first 2 games. The Lancers pick up a point for a 3rd straight game in as many days, but their 2-game winning streak comes to an end. Final score one last time, Lincoln 7, Omaha 6. The Lancers are back on home ice next weekend to take on Team USA, beginning on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you then. For all of us here at Liberty First Credit Union Arena, I'm Joel Norman, and this has been the Omaha Lancers Hockey Network.